Hey everyone, it's Sam with Wrestling Overtime, and we are here doing our Raves and Rants review of WWE Smackdown for May 29th, 2020. This show did not open up as normal with the title and showing all of the superstars. It opened up with Renee Young on the scene outside of the Performance Center reporting that Elias had just been hit by a car and that an eyewitness had seen what they believed to be a man in all black running away from the scene. Now, the police are there, and one cop is seen going through the car and pulling out what appeared to be an alcohol bottle, smelling it, and then continuing to search the car. As he pulled down the visor, papers flew, and he found rental papers saying that the car belonged to Jeff Hardy. Then they switched to Kayla Braxton, who was interviewing Braun Strowman, who was getting out of his car, said that he saw a car go flying down the road right beside of where he was parked, that it hit Elias, and that he ran over to make sure that Elias was okay. He saw someone leave the scene, and he called 911. The police then start looking for Jeff Hardy. We see Jamie Noble and Jason Jordan on the scene, talking to the cops, and they find Jeff Hardy near the back of the Performance Center, kind of staggering. I thought that he appeared to be hurt. You hear one cop asking him if he's had anything to drink. Jamie Noble and Jason Jordan are trying to hold on to Jeff and ask him questions, while the cops are also asking him questions. One of the cops is behind him and says that he is smelling alcohol in him. Jamie Noble is asking Jeff if he's okay. Is he hurt? Does he need to go to the hospital? As a cop cuffs him. And they say that they're taking him to the station downtown. As they are passing the ambulance, Jeff Hardy notices that they are loading Elias up. Not sure why it took so long. But Jeff is hollering at Elias and asking him if he is okay. And they then cut away. Renee Young tells us that if they find out anything else, that they will break in to tell us. Now, immediately, they then go to Adam Pearce having a meeting backstage. Not sure how he had it that quickly and knew what was going on, but he has a lot of the talent gathered around him, such as Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. We see Chad Gable, Cesaro, Sheamus, Jey Uso, just different people. Adam Pearce says that it appears that Elias has been involved in an accident, being hit by a car. And then someone comes up and whispers in his ear and says that it is also believed that Jeff Hardy has been arrested. Since they were both still in the Intercontinental title tournament, one was supposed to take on Daniel Bryan, one was supposed to take on AJ Styles, that they need to figure out what they're going to do about the situation. AJ Styles immediately speaks up and says that he will take his bye and face Daniel Bryan in the finals for the Intercontinental title. Daniel Bryan immediately after speaks up and says, no, that someone deserves a chance to compete. Maybe someone that hasn't had a chance or something like that. Many of the WWE superstars start talking about how they deserve another chance. Baron Corbin is very vocal about this. Now, what I thought was weird or amusing, I don't know which one, that it seemed like it was mostly WWE superstars that had already been in the tournament. And I was immediately thinking, I don't want to see Baron Corbin get another chance. I don't want to see Sheamus get another chance. Why can't Chad Gables have a chance? Jey Uso speaks up and says, that he would like an opportunity, and is immediately put down that he is a tag team wrestler. Well, his brother's going to be out for the next 6 months. Let's give him a singles chance. I think what, kind of disappointed me was the fact that we didn't see any other WWE superstars there. I know Randy Orton and Edge are getting ready for the greatest match ever. Are you telling me that Edge or Randy Orton don't want to go for this belt? The Intercontinental title has a long history of being the second best belt. Now, of course, when they split the brands and created two WWE champions, the Intercontinental belt kind of diminished a little bit. But it used to be the second highest belt. So I can't imagine that Edge or Randy Orton, don't want to go for that. There's rumors that Matt Riddle is coming to Smackdown. What a perfect way to debut him. Have him go for the belt. Why aren't we seeing some of the NXT jobbers that they don't care to, bring up and have them get killed by main roster talent, but seem to do well in NXT? Why are they not there to be jobbers tonight? Why are we not seeing someone like Akira Tozawa saying, I want my opportunity? Why are we not seeing Otis there? Supposedly, he is a singles wrestler now that he's Mr. Money in the Bank. Why are we not seeing Miz and Morrison? They're both singles wrestlers. I know they're part of a tag team, but honestly, they're singles wrestlers, and The Miz has held that belt numerous times. Why are they not there? I was kind of disappointed in this tournament anyway. I felt like as soon as we saw AJ Styles put in, we knew he was going to the finals, and I felt pretty sure that Daniel Bryan was going to be in the finals. Wasn't 100% sure that they weren't going to send Jeff Hardy there. But that is one of the reasons why their ratings are falling, is because they're getting very, very predictable. Why on earth is some of these WWE superstars not thrown in here, us given great matches and surprises being thrown at us? I think that's the thing that New Japan and AEW are doing so well, and honestly, since I've been watching it, Impact Wrestling is starting to do. They are starting to throw swerves at you. So why are they not doing that. But anyway, back to the storyline. Adam Pearce decides that he is going to give AJ Styles his bye, since that's what he wants. So AJ Styles is now immediately put into the finals. But since Daniel Bryan wants to allow someone to have an opportunity, then they're going to have a 10-man battle royal. Winner will take on Daniel Bryan later tonight. Well, number one, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You're going to give one man a bye and another man not? Absolutely, teetotally ridiculous. Number two, didn't AEW just do a battle royal this week? Not at their last pay-per-view, not a month ago. They just did one Wednesday. So the thing is, you know, if I know that, then I'm probably not going to do a battle royal. I'm going to do a ladder match. You know, I'm going to do some kind of gauntlet match. Something. I'm probably not, or I'm going to change up the rules. Maybe they don't get thrown over the top. Maybe they have to be pinned to be eliminated, or they have to submit to be eliminated. Something. I'm going to try to make it different. And I know some of you are going to write me at wrestlingovertime@gmail.com and say, hey Sam, I think they taped it before AEW. AEW copied WWE. Okay. The thing is, they still saw it happen on Wednesday. So they could have taken Wednesday night, threw a fit, whined and moaned and groaned, and brought WWE superstars in on Thursday or Friday morning and taped something different. The thing is, everybody knows AEW and WWE, they're pretty much not going home. A lot of them have rented houses or they're in hotels, and they're staying in the Orlando and Jacksonville areas. Call them, get them in, retape it. I mean, or make that the only thing that you go live on. But anyway, we get a 10-man battle royal. Of course, it's chaos until some people start getting eliminated. So, Dorado, of Lucha House Party, Grand Malik, and Drew Gulak all get eliminated, thrown over by Baron Corbin. Then Corbin was thrown over by Jey Uso. Chad Gable ended up getting the best of Cesaro and eliminating him. And then he turned around and eliminated Shinsuke Nakamura. But while the referee was checking on Shinsuke, Cesaro, who had been eliminated, jumped back into the ring and threw Chad Gable over the rope, and all the referee saw was Chad Gable's feet hit the floor. Now I'm going to pause here for a minute to talk about that situation, because usually, and I didn't look, and I should have, but they have more than one referee. Surely, at least one other referee saw Cesaro jump back in and do that. Chad Gables immediately threw a fit. The announcers knew it. So, that situation should have been taken care of. But I know they want to use it for a storyline, so we'll move on. So this leaves Jey Uso versus Sheamus. Now, I've already said, I think Jey Uso should have gotten a shot. His brother's hurt. It wasn't his fault. They just got back from being off for 6 months for a drunk driving incident that Jay was there, was not driving, and didn't, from what I understand, did not even get out of the car and confront the police like Jimmy did. So why not give him a shot? He is not one of them that has screwed up. He is not one of them that has gotten hurt. But we all know, as soon as you hear me say it's Sheamus versus Jey Uso, you know what's coming. And that's exactly what WWE did. Instead of throwing us a swerve, letting us have a surprise, letting us think, oh, maybe we'll see Jey Uso, who is big and athletic, take on the smaller Daniel Bryan. No, we all know it's going to be Sheamus. And Sheamus and Jey Uso end up on the apron outside the ring. And of course, Sheamus won by kicking him with the bro kick off the apron and, knocking him into the floor. And he is going to be the one to face Daniel Bryan later on. Now, why Adam Pearce didn't come back out and say, I've changed my mind. Jay, you did a nice match. You'll take on AJ Styles. Or it be brought to his attention that Cesaro cheated and have a match between Chad Gable and Jey Uso to fight AJ Styles later on, or something like that. I don't really understand. It seems like things that are logical, WWE doesn't want to write in. It really seems like Bruce and Vince on Smackdown want to go back to storylines that they feel have worked before. So they're using this real life problem that Jeff Hardy has with addiction, and they're showing it. They're using Sheamus being, jealous of that. We'll talk about some other things that Vince and Bruce are also pulling out. So then we see Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville, as far as I'm concerned, has been on fire since, Royal Rumble? She has been given this opportunity and is running with it. She is showing us not only her acting skills, but her wrestling skills and her promo skills, and she has came so far. They end up talking about how good she's been recently, and they show tweets that Sonya Deville had posted earlier in the week, basically towards Mandy and her being a blonde and everything. However, Lacey Evans took offense to him and challenged Sonya Deville and said, I'm a blonde, so why don't you take me on? So Sonya took her up on it. As they're showing her warm up, she proceeds to start cutting a promo talking about how Lacey Evans better put her hair up and get ready to square up because she is going to be punishing her basically for getting involved. However, what Sonya didn't know was Lacey was standing behind her the whole entire time she was cutting this promo, and she shoves her down, calls her a nasty, and then proceeds to walk away. Then we immediately go to Chad Gable confronting Cesaro backstage about how he cheated. And Cesaro looks at Gable, steps up, gets in his face, and says, "Why don't you try to be the bigger man this time?" And so then Chad Gable just decks him. Finally, Chad Gable stands up to someone and hauls off and decks him. I think that's wonderful. I was ready to start clapping. Because again, this is Vince and Bruce doing their normal shtick and making fun of the shorter guy. You know, Chad Gables, if he was a foot taller, he would be the ultimate specimen for Vince, and Vince would be pushing him to the moon and making him a superstar. And I don't understand why he can't do that anyway. He has the physique, he has the talent, he has, the wrestling experience. I don't understand why Vince wants to just make fun of his height. He just can't see past that. So after commercial, we get Lacey Evans and Sonya Deville against each other. Now, I really enjoyed this match. I hope that they make this a program. I am tired of Sonya Deville versus Mandy. So I'm hoping that they take this and kind of segue into it. This match made both of them look strong. It made them look evenly matched. I, even at points, caught myself kind of believing it for the simple fact that Lacey Evans is a Marine and was in, a special unit. So that makes me think, she can possibly hold her own with this MMA fighter. Because under normal circumstances, I would say Sonya Deville should kill her because Lacey Evans hasn't been wrestling that long. And, she is an MMA trained fighter. But because she's a Marine, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. I really do hope this turns into a program. I liked it when, Evans got the best of Deville, threw her into the corner, and started talking smack to her about how, Mandy was better than her. And then I liked how that pretty much pissed Sonya off, and it ended in a double count out, with both of them fighting outside the ring and not caring that they were getting counted out. The only thing that I didn't particularly like was the fact that it looked like Lacey really did throw Sonya into the announcer's table, and her throw wasn't on point, and she did catch Sonya with the corner of the announcing table in the ribs. Usually, if you're going to do that spot, you see them have their arm in the way or their hand in the way, and they put their hand on the corner and then takes a shot into the ribs. Now, it still hurts, obviously, but it's not a straight shot. And we saw Sonya kind of fall awkwardly, and she was a little slow getting up. Now, that could have been her acting. I'll give her credit. Hopefully it was her acting. But I do wonder if she didn't take a shot there, and she's a little hurt now. Then we get a moment of bliss. Of course, with Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Their guests are the New Day. And they are calling it the Tag Team Champion Summit, since both of them are Tag Team Champions, with Bliss and Cross being the Women's Tag Team Champions, and then the New Day being the Tag Team Champions of Smackdown. Now, they decide that they're going to, have a love fest. And Nikki Cross gives them Scottish pancakes that she personally made from her grandmother's recipe. And they give Alexa Bliss special coffee that she doesn't want to drink. And then they ask the New Day who they would like to take on next, and they answer the Forgotten Sons, which, I don't know, I guess that surprised me a little bit. Although when you think about it, SmackDown doesn't really have a lot of tag teams, and especially new tag teams. But I just don't feel like the Forgotten Sons are of the caliber, number one, to take on the New Day, but number two, to even compete for the championships yet. They really haven't even had a program yet. So I don't think they should be just handed, their first program should be with the champions. But hey, Bruce and Vince. So Big E ended up asking them who did they want to face, and Alexa Bliss is getting ready to answer, but we hear Bayley's music hit, and we see Bayley and Sasha Banks come out. Bayley starts talking about how she doesn't see the best women's tag team in the ring. And then, of course, Bayley and Sasha get in the ring, and Sasha says, well, now she does. Of course, Alexa has to get them back and say, oh, we have belts, the New Day has belts, Bayley has a belt. Sasha, where is your championship belt? Which I myself thought was a nice dig, bringing it back to the fact that, according to Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks is Bayley's lackey. But Bayley, takes up for Sasha and says that she's the leader of the women's division. And Sasha says, look, we put those tag team titles on the map. Without us, there wouldn't even be tag team titles. And she's pretty much right. I can't speak tonight. Because Sasha and Bayley, it was their idea. They really fought for that and really petitioned for that for over a year. And Alexa comes back with name the time and place. Well, Bayley, being Bayley, says, we'll get back to you on that. However, Sasha will face you, meaning Alexa Bliss, right here, right now. Loved Sasha's look at Bayley. If I didn't know better, I would have said that was real. Sasha Banks and her acting has gotten so good. Because Sasha immediately looks at Bayley and is like, I don't even have my wrestling gear. She was in high heel boots. She had on jogging running pants. It was pretty funny. Bayley, however, says, I'll run and get your shoes, I'll get your boots. So when we come back from commercial, it's Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. Now, Bayley went and got Sasha Banks white tennis shoes. Now, she's dressed in black. Black and blue with her blue hair. Are you telling me that Sasha Banks owns white, and I do mean sparkling clean white tennis shoes, and that Bayley thought, hey, those are what I'm going to get her? No. This is Vince and Bruce again wanting to draw attention to things, so they picked out white. Now, I gotta give it up for Sasha. She hit a cool backbreaker and got a 2 count on Alexa Bliss. Her backbreaker has gotten a lot better. They had Nikki Cross and Bayley at the announcer's table, doing their back and forth. Bayley going off on Nikki and telling her to shut up. And, Nikki making her own comments. This match ended up going back and forth, and at one point, Nikki starts doing her chant of Lexi, Lexi, Lexi. She gets the NXT wrestlers that are in the crowd to join her, and Bayley goes nuts. Alexa Bliss has climbed up. She's standing on the top, and Bayley jumps up on the apron to distract Alexa by clucking at her like a chicken. And yes, I did say clucking like a chicken. Well, of course, Nikki Cross had gotten up and went to go after and get Bayley, and Bayley threw Nikki Cross into Bliss, knocking her off the top, and Sasha pinned Alexa for the win pretty easily. And then we get our next match, which is Chad Gable versus Cesaro. Under normal circumstances, with a build-up that didn't happen in, 2 minutes, I really would have liked this match. Both of them are excellent wrestlers. Both of them are underrated wrestlers. But they really weren't given a lot of time. It was pretty fast-paced, with them exchanging different maneuvers, different holds, even trying some different submission holds, such as Gable, trying the ankle lock and different things like that with Cesaro countering. Now, it ended when Cesaro tried a second powerbomb, but Chad Gable's reversed it and then hit a roll-up for the win. It was kind of a sneak attack win. And Cesaro was, I think, a little shocked. So maybe this is a start of a program. I actually think that maybe they're breaking Shinsuke and Cesaro up since they don't have Sami Zayn there to kind of tie them together. They don't really form that great of a team, so maybe this will give Cesaro a separate program he can work on and they can get Shinsuke involved in something else. I don't know. Then, instead of giving Chad Gable and Cesaro the amount of time to really make a good match, or giving Lacey Evans and Sonya Deville more time to restart their double countout match. No, Vince and Bruce want to do the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale. They're still stuck on it. They're going to run it into the ground until people can't stand it anymore. We see Mandy Rose and Otis's date that they're having. Why? Why are we seeing this? Well, they don't explain what the point is. Number one, Smackdown is happening. It is now almost 9:15, 9:30 at night. But when we see Mandy and Otis's date, the sun is shining. They're out by the pool. They don't really explain this. Number two, Otis is Mr. Money in the Bank. He is supposed to be looking for an opportunity to grab a referee and cash in anywhere at any time on Braun Strowman. So, the perfect opportunity of cashing in wouldn't have been during this car accident that Braun Strowman was an eyewitness to as he was getting out of his car, getting interviewed. Otis couldn't have smacked his head up against the car, hit him with the Money in the Bank briefcase, grabbed the referee, and pinned him quickly to win the championship. Otis, instead of showing up at work on Smackdown and possibly finding some opportunity to win the World Championship, is on a date with Mandy Rose at a pool at what appears to be a house. So I guess we're supposed to assume that they have rented a house and this is their pool. I wonder if this is what Zack Ryder was talking about earlier in the week. Zack Ryder said that his girlfriend Chelsea Green was called and they asked Chelsea could they use their pool to film a segment with Mandy. And she told Zack Ryder about it. And of course Zack Ryder was like, no, they just fired me. Not happening. So I'm wondering if this is the segment that they were wanting to tape. Anyway, this whole thing was just gross. Mandy and Otis don't fit. I don't feel like they have any chemistry. At least with the Beauty and the Beast, you feel like there's some chemistry. You feel like he's a teddy bear and he treats her wonderful. Yeah, I don't see even Otis treating Mandy that wonderfully. But, you know, Vince is getting into this. He's done it 50 billion times before. And what they do, because, again, Vince and Bruce Pritchard are older, they are reenacting the scene from Fast Times at Ridgemont High with Otis actually being Phoebe Cates. And Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I think, was an 80s movie. So they're going back 40 years, 30, 40 years, to film this scene. And it's stupid. So Otis asks Mandy, do you want to go for a swim? And she says, no, I think I'm going to take a nap. Even though she's 2 feet from the pool, Otis, you know, goes over and we're to believe that he's going to take his swim. Mandy, I guess, immediately falls asleep because she starts dreaming about Otis and him getting in the water and going under the water and coming up out of the water and his long hair being wet with water dripping off his beard, which was gross. There were way too many close-ups of Otis in his thong and his belly shirt. He ends up ripping his shirt off and doing a cannonball. So we hear Otis yell, "Cannonball!" and all of the water splashes on Mandy and wakes her up from her dream that she was dreaming of Otis. Now, Mandy doesn't get mad. I have to give her credit for that. Mandy doesn't get upset. You know, she tells Otis, you know, you woke me. I was having a really nice dream. She gets out and gets into the pool. But this is what I'm talking about. Otis is not great to Mandy. What great guy says, "Cannonball!" and immediately does a big cannonball? Who yells that when someone's sleeping, but who also does a cannonball into a pool when their girlfriend is 2 feet away from the pool, knowing it's going to splash her? But, of course, you know, Otis is an idiot. So Mandy, like I said, gets in the pool, kisses Otis in the water, and then she pauses and does Otis's catchphrase of, "Oh yeah," and then kisses him again. And it ends. Again, what's the point? Was that just to show us, oh, they're really together, oh, they're still together, oh, Mandy will kiss him? Because I know that's been the big thing on Reddit and different internet sites, is that, you know, they haven't really kissed, he always just kisses her on the cheek. So, was that what this was about? If so, you took probably 10 minutes that we could have been seeing a wrestling match, or we could have been furthering a story. I don't understand. We then go to Kurt Angle, and he introduces that he says, "I'm sure that you guys have heard that there is a new star coming to Smackdown," and he introduces that he had, you know, the honor of having his last NXT match as a guest referee, and he says Matt Riddle is now coming to SmackDown. And then they show a video package of Matt Riddle highlights with Matt Riddle talking about himself. And of course, saying bro 50,000 times. Because again, Vince also thinks this is cool. So the Stoner got promoted, and we're going to have to put up with him on the main roster now. Finally, we get to the main event, and it's Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship semifinals. Winner gets to face AJ Styles, who was in tonight's episode, about 2 minutes. I thought they would at least have him maybe on commentary, but no. Really weird. It seemed like both of them were hitting each other a little stiff tonight. I've never known that Daniel Bryan and Sheamus have issues, but maybe they do. I don't know. Sheamus controlled most of the match, with Daniel Bryan, of course, doing most of the selling. It is because he sells so well, and Sheamus really doesn't. The NXT wrestlers ended up getting the yes chant going to bring Daniel Bryan back. He hits, a couple moves, and then Sheamus takes back over. Toward, obviously, the end of the match, Jeff Hardy ends up coming out and walking down the ramp, which distracts Sheamus as he is saying, "What are you doing here?" And Daniel Bryan hits the running knee on him for the win. Jeff Hardy then gets in the ring to beat down Sheamus as they go off the air. So let's kind of talk. Where do you think they're going from here? I mean, are we going to continue this Jeff and Sheamus thing? I mean, I guess we are. I kind of thought it was over, but I guess not. I guess I was kind of hoping it was over, but it's obviously not. We're still going to continue to play on Jeff Hardy's addictions, I guess, and this is maybe it was his idea. I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this was Jeff Hardy's idea. I don't think it was. I think this is Vince and Bruce's way of kind of paying Jeff Hardy back for being out so many months because of his DUI, and then him having to go to rehab by making him go through this embarrassment. So I guess we're going to do that a little longer. I hate that. I really hope that they have Jeff Hardy eventually come out on top. I think that there are a lot of addicts in the world that need something positive to come from this, and to see someone overcome addiction. So I hope WWE and Jeff Hardy cooperate and make this a happy story. Are we going to get a Chad Gable and Cesaro program? Where does Matt Riddle play in? I know on the news and updates episode right before this, if you listen to it, I talked about Matt Riddle coming to Smackdown tonight. And I said, well, I could see them putting Matt Riddle, rushing him, putting him in a championship title picture at SummerSlam against Braun Strowman. I could definitely see that. Where do I see him playing in? Where would I maybe like to see him? Maybe go up against an experienced person. And I do mean super experienced. Like AJ Styles. Like Daniel Bryan. Where they have the experience and the cunningness to actually take him on, to counter his moves, or even not let him do his moves and him get frustrated. I think that would be a good storyline. Who wins with AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan in 2 weeks? Part of me would like to see Daniel Bryan regain a belt. But then there are all these rumors that Daniel Bryan's contract is up here fairly soon. And there's a real good possibility that he is either going to go on limited schedule with WWE, or he's going to go to a different company and go to a company that he can create kind of his own schedule, especially with the baby getting ready to be born and him being, such a family man. So I can't see them, unless he's already signed a contract extension, them allowing him to have a belt. So I really look for AJ Styles to win, which is fine with me. I think AJ Styles makes a great champion. I like him as a heel. I hope they keep him as a heel and, put him in a nice program where, it can last to SummerSlam and we can actually get a good match and a good program out of it, a good storyline out of it. Do I trust WWE to do that? No. But it would be nice. What do you think? You guys need to let me know. Hit me up on Twitter or our Facebook page, or write me at wrestlingovertime@gmail.com. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know where you want to see things go. Where do you see everything playing out, and what do you see the build to SummerSlam looking like? Because I don't know, I'm a little confused. I don't know exactly where we're going. And it used to be, at the beginning of June, you kind of knew where SummerSlam, they were starting the storylines. So, interested to see what you think. Hit me up and let me know. I am going to let you go and continue working overtime to give you guys what you want. And I'm going to talk to you soon.